This is Daylight and Moonshine with me, the rejuvenated G. And today's topic will be abandonment issues, the lasting effect of abandonment issues. We're going to go deep, of course, topic. And I promise you, as we get really close to the end of 2021, we're going to have some happy, upbeat topics. This will be the last of the heavy topics for this year. But we got to get into the heavy shit because that's what we talk about. Definitely. So, stay tuned. We're going to dive deep into this. And then, like I said, as I promised, I know it's been a while, but we're going to get deep into some heavy shit. And then we're going to get really deep into some happy, really positive, good shit. So stay with us. We'll be back. I know y'all miss me because I missed y'all. That's right. Daylight and Moonshine. Welcome back to the D.A.M Podcast, y'all. Episode 27. Yeah. That's right. Episode 27. And like I mentioned before, we'll be talking about the lasting effects of abandonment issues. That's a huge deal, man. That's heavy. This is the last heavy topic that we'll touch on for this year. 2021. The reason I like to touch on heavy topics is because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. We meaning us as people. It's more so geared towards people of color. But these topics and these episodes are for everybody. I don't want anybody to feel like this is a Black podcast or geared towards the Black folks or whatever. It's geared towards anybody that can take something from these episodes. It's geared towards anybody that can take something from the messages that we are bringing on each episode. There are things that I'm more in tune with that's definitely more potent, I would say, in the Black community, in the people of color community, Black, Latino communities, Black and brown communities. There's very specific topics that are more related to us, but this is not specifically for just us, When I say us, I truly mean everybody. Anybody that's listening, anybody that's healing, anybody that can take something from something that we are talking about. And I keep saying we because it's not just me. It's not just me. I pull these experiences that I talk about on this episode today. So this is another talking out loud. I label it talking out loud because it's me talking basically by myself, but I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you, the listeners, the damn listeners. That's right. The Daylight and Moonshine listeners. It's a real thing. It's something that I would practice these talks in my car to myself on the way to work, in my crib, when I was gearing up to do this podcast. I am 27 episodes in now. I have the statistics to show that people are listening. I know you're listening out there. I'm going to shout out a couple cities, and I'm gonna definitely shout out a couple different countries in a minute. I gotta pull it up, but this shit is real, you know. For me, it's definitely real. Like I did not have a goal in mind when I started doing this. It was 100%. Hey, I got something to say. I need to put this shit out here. And if people listen, then they listen. That's what it was. That's all it was. That was my initial goal. There was no numbers. I have to get these amount of downloads, you know, this amount of likes. There was no specific numbers in mind. There was no specific, hey, I have to make this amount of money off of it because I ain't making shit. I've spent way more money than I've made off this. Guaranteed. I'll show you the receipts. It was all getting the message out there. That's it, 100%. And seeing the statistics. Now, mind you, I can only see this. Well, I can see the statistics from the video version and the audio version, the traditional podcast version. I can see statistics from both, but the detailed statistics comes from the downloads that I get off of Podbean. Shout out to Podbean. That's my home base, I guess, you know, for my podcast. That's why I created it back in March. We're at the end of the year. It's December already. This is my first year. Man, it feels like I've been doing this shit for like 2 or 3 years, for real. If you stuck with me through all of these 27 episodes, then you know what I mean. I was going super hard. I didn't realize I was going so hard till I realized I was on 27 episodes. And some of the podcasts that I listened to had about the same amount of episodes that I had. But you look at the years, it's like 2019, 2020, skip a couple months, 2021, you know, no, you know, I'm not I'm not trying to, you know, talk shit to anybody at all, whatever. I'm saying what's real. This was me looking at myself, coming to the realization that I was grinding. That's my grind. I was pumping out these episodes because consistency was important to me. And when I saw that people were actually listening, I kept going hard or whatever. So I definitely do want to mention, you know, it's been, originally I said I was going to put these episodes out once a week, every Thursday. And then I kind of got away from that. And I was saying Thursday-ish. And the ish is from Thursday to Sunday. It may be an episode somewhere between there. And, you know, it came from that to, you know, the last few months. I know I've only put out a few episodes, probably on average one every 2 weeks or something like that. But I really had to settle into myself and figure out what was going on. Because just like when I became a vegetarian, I just dove headfirst into the shit. I didn't do no vegetarian research. I didn't do no fucking research. I just simply, hey, my body's telling me I probably shouldn't eat meat anymore. So yeah, I just stopped eating meat. That's what I used to tell. That's what I tell people. And they ask me, why'd you go vegetarian? Why'd you stop eating meat? No, I felt like my body was telling me to stop eating meat. So I stopped eating it. And interesting story. Sorry for the slurs. Sorry, but not sorry. I'm about 2.5 old fashions in, so y'all don't have to excuse that shit. It's December. I've had a really rough month, half of November, half of December. I've been so off mentally, just off key, off myself. And also this topic hit me hard. Y'all gonna hear about it in a minute. So you'll understand. You'll excuse my slurs. You will excuse the old fashions once I get into this topic. But I wanted to catch everybody up, the true listeners, the true D.A.M listeners, I wanted to catch everybody up on everything that's going on. So um, I just threw myself off. Why I do that? Y'all know I needed an assistant to keep me on point. I just told y'all I was off mentally, and I threw myself off. But it's just been a rough last month or so. In the last couple of weeks, I don't know if it's the planetary alignments or what's going on, but something's got me a little off, and I'm just going with the flow of it. You know, instead of getting frustrated, I just go with the flow of it. If I'm off, I'm aware I'm off, put my awareness in that space, and then I just push forward with that. That's it. It's that simple. So, um, what do we have to talk about? I want to make sure I touch all the bases before I get into this topic. Hmm. Hmm. What we need to talk about, y'all. I missed y'all. Hope y'all miss me. Hope y'all miss hearing and seeing me. Definitely, definitely miss doing this. But it just hadn't felt right between being busy and life happening. It just didn't feel right to do it. Every time I sat down to do it or tried to sit down and do it or thought about doing it, it was just like it just didn't happen. So I didn't force it. I don't want to force it. I don't want to force it at all. So I didn't. And I'm doing it now. So I was talking about the getting away from doing it weekly and all of that stuff. So I'll just say this. I will put an episode out when it feels right. My goals in the beginning were to put it out once a week. My intention now is to put it out when it feels right. And I would love to do it as often as possible. Like I said, it was like for me, it was just like, damn, people are listening to it. They want more. I only really know like what people say to me directly. If you know me, you know, the things that you've said to me, the anticipation for the next episode or whatever, but I'm seeing the numbers, I'm seeing it. And it's now, it's like, okay, I feel like people are listening and I have an obligation now. So it kind of puts it in a different lane. It's tough. Hopefully y'all feel what I'm saying or whatever. But it puts it in a different lane. So there's definitely a need for it to get out. Because I know we're putting out some heavy stuff. So once again, this is the last heavy episode of the year. I plan to pop out at one, hopefully at least two more episodes before the end of the year. It's already not even midway through December. It's December's already started. I don't like to use dates because when people listen to this, I like for them to just be in the moment of whatever we're talking about, as opposed to, oh man, this shit old, whatever, or oh, he just recorded this, whatever. I want these recordings to be timeless, so I don't like to use dates, but I'll just say it's December 2021, and the year will be over soon. And I plan to put out some really upbeat, positive episodes before the end of the year. So hopefully I can do that. I got a bunch of stuff in mind for that. So anyway, a few topics that I wanted to touch on before we hit this subject. Once again, this is talking out loud. And the topic of the talking out loud is me talking out loud about the lasting effects of abandonment issues. And there was something very specific that sort of got my attention in my personal life that said, okay, it's time to do this topic. Because this is something, not this specific topic, what I just said, but it was something, it is basically what I'm talking about has already been on my mind. There's already something that I knew and that I wanted to discuss. The actual wording of it or the name, the topic itself is maybe a little bit different, but what I'm going to discuss is something that's definitely been on my mind. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to present this episode. So I will say that. But like I said, it is the end of the year, and I cannot let this year, this wonderful year, end without sending a special shout out to all of my international listeners and viewers, listeners, especially because these are the listener numbers. But shout out to Belgium, all of the listeners in Belgium. Shout out to you. Special shout out to you. You are my number one, the number one downloaded internationally is Belgium for the D.A.M Podcast. So shout out to you in Belgium and all my listeners in Belgium. I truly appreciate you. My special shout out to you. So of course, first in downloads, States. Second is Belgium. Third is the United Kingdom. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to all the listeners out there in the UK, all the damn listeners in the UK. I truly appreciate y'all. Keep showing your love and support, man. For real. Shout out to Russia. Russia is fourth on the list. Once again, United States, Belgium, the UK, and Russia. Russia's fourth on the list. So shout out to all the listeners in Russia. I truly appreciate your support. Please keep listening. Please keep supporting. Shout out to you in Russia. And last but not least, definitely not the only. I just don't want to go down a whole list. There's a whole list of international listeners. And I'm doing a top 5 right now. And fifth on the list, which was number 1, is Brazil. Shout out to my people in Brazil. I truly appreciate you for checking out the D.A.M Podcast 2022. It's a whole new year. Please keep listening, y'all, all of y'all. So shout out to Belgium, the UK, Russia, and Brazil. And of course, shout out to the US. My top 5 in the US, most downloaded for the D.A.M Podcast. Shout out to my people in Illinois. Y'all just, of course, Illinois is outshining everybody by far. Percentage-wise, you are knocking it out the park. So shout out to all my people in Illinois. Number 2, California. Shout out to my people in California. Keep listening, keep supporting. I truly appreciate you. Nevada is number 3. Colorado is number 4. Shout out to Colorado. All my people in Colorado. Love y'all, definitely. Shout out to my people in Virginia. Virginia is the 5th state on the list. So my top 5 in the US downloads is Illinois, California, Nevada, Colorado, and Virginia. I love all of y'all, man. Like, please keep checking out the D.A.M Podcast. Keep supporting, keep downloading, keep listening. And to all the viewers, like I said, I cannot see the details of the viewers, but I truly appreciate all the viewers and everywhere that you're viewing from. Leave comments. That's the best way. Leave comments. If I did not shout out your state or your country, leave a comment on the video because I cannot see the statistics on the video. Leave a comment on the video. I will definitely shout you out. Leave your name. I'll show you all the love in the world. But I cannot see the statistics on the video watches. I can only see the statistics on the downloads for the traditional podcast. So shout out to everybody that's been supporting, watching, and loving and appreciating and taking something from each and every episode that we do. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. We do it for y'all, the damn listeners. That's right. Daylight and Moonshine, y'all. We talk about everything under the sun and moon on this podcast. That's why we do it. So, getting into today's topic, and I'll try to make this part short, unfortunately, because I had to do so much because it's been a while. I know y'all haven't seen me. It's been a while. I've been in my own space, doing a lot of life in my own space that you'll see what's been going on recent with this episode. So let's get into this topic. Oh man. So this topic, the lasting effects of abandonment issues. So on a personal level, what brought this? So I've already had like the layout of what I wanted to say. The way that this episode came about was I was triggered. And anytime that I'm triggered, I go within and I look inside. I look in within myself and I try to figure out what is it in me that was triggered by this particular thing? How can I learn from it? How can I get past it? And how can I get rid of this shit? Because I don't want to experience this again. Truly, y'all, like at the end of my lifetime on this planet, I want to be completely purged of any nonsense. Like I really want to I just want to be a free spirit. I want to be a free soul. I just want to be like unbothered by anything, like just out here, just, you know what I mean? Like I want to be like that spiritual being here on this planet, like choosing when I want to leave. Like, oh, I'm bored. And then I just float away. Like, yeah, that's what I want. Y'all laughing, but I'm dead ass serious. That's what I want. Because I don't want to have any sort of attachments. I want to be that in peace with who I am and everything around me and everybody around me. I want to be in that fucking space. Like, that's a dope ass space to be in. I want to be there. So I was triggered. So recently I took a trip to Tampa, Florida. And I was going to surprise my daughter. And I'm trying to leave some of the personal parts out of this for obvious reasons. My daughter is a person. And she's a very intelligent being. And one day she may listen to all these episodes. I don't know. And if something is too personal for her and her own memory, then I don't want her to look at this episode or any other episode and feel like, damn, Dad, you did too much, or you overshared, or that's me. That's personal. You know, I don't want her to ever feel like that. So if you hear me speaking sort of vaguely, then that's why. You know, I still respect people that are close to me. I respect their boundaries and their personal space. So I'll try to give as much as I can without sort of being rude to people that I care about. You feel me? All right. So it was her birthday. I went down there to surprise her, had it all set up, met her and her mom at a restaurant, and had my camera out. I talked to the hostess of the restaurant and the actual waiter that was serving them, and set it up perfectly. Even got it on camera. And everything was good. Everything was good. I didn't really have plans. I was just freestyling the shit, and that was the plan. You know, I'm an in the moment sort of person, or I've grown to be an in the moment sort of person, because trying to plan out everything never worked out for me when it don't come out perfectly, because I'm a recovering perfectionist. So when it didn't come out perfectly, it bothered me, and then it was something lasting. So I stopped doing that shit, and I was just like, I'm gonna be in the moment. I'm gonna be this type of person. So I had a couple ideas in my head, but nothing solid. So the surprise part went off really well. And we're sitting there, they're eating. They had already started eating. I had been there for like 30 minutes waiting. They had already ordered their food and all that stuff. So her mom was basically just there to help me transition into it. And I truly appreciate her for that, or being really helpful with that, because like I said, it went off really well. I truly appreciate all of her help with that, because we were texting back and forth the whole time. So I decided to take her on a shopping spree. I shouldn't say spree, because there was no unlimited shit. Yeah, there was a cap to that. You know what I mean? Like, there was a cap to that. Saying that my card is black, but it's not a black card. You know what I mean? Like, it's got other colors on it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was a cap to it. Um, so I took her shopping. We went to the mall. We had some good talk. Um, Good shopping, good moments. I really enjoyed just being in her space, and just taking her in as a almost teenager. She's so mature for her age. You know, she really brightens my day. Both of my kids do. They really do. You know, you want to see me in a different light, put me around my kids, and yeah, I'm just a happy person. So we did our thing. Everything was cool. I went and surprised my son in the same way. Recorded him, or thought I recorded him, but then pushed record. Had an old man moment. It is what it is, but I enjoyed the moment for itself. It's a lasting moment that's recorded in my memory, at least. So everything went well. And this part I will share, that is personal, because it bothered me. Bothered me a lot then, and it bothered me to this day. So I'm gonna share all of this shit. So 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 yeah. This is Future G interrupting your regularly scheduled program to bring to you this announcement. I just saved you guys from a 35-minute rant of some personal shit that I was talking about, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not protecting myself from putting out all the business. I know y'all want to hear the business, but it was off topic a bit. It was related, but not necessarily directly related. And I want to stick to the topic. That story, very interesting story, may be told at a later date. Trust me, it went on for 35 minutes. Yeah. You're welcome. But obviously I'm on again. It's literally like probably like a week later. I done grew like a little beard and everything. Since the beginning part was recorded. So I'm gonna take over from where I left off, but I'm gonna stick on track. I'm gonna stick on subject. That one was going way into something else. So we're gonna stick with the abandonment issues is the topic, and it's an important topic, and I want to stick to it. So here we go with that. So I discovered what led to my personal issues. You call them mommy issues, just like some people, they say they have daddy issues. We'll call mine mommy issues, and it's a direct result of abandonment. And don't get me wrong, when you say it like that, or when I say it like that, it sounds horrible. But I mean it in a sense. It is a, I don't know the technical terms. There may be some people out there that's helping me out. I can't hear y'all, but the technical terms for it It's a direct result of me being taken from my parental, um, maternal figure, my birth mother. Um, it was a direct result of that. So no, she didn't abandon me, but the end result was sort of directly. It was not sort of. It was directly related to that, and it was an abandonment feel to it. I experienced it. I lived it. That's what it was. So not saying that's what happened, saying that's how it affected me. I hope y'all feel what I'm saying when I say that. So that, which was like I think second grade, stemmed from that point in my life, all the way through young adulthood. So of course it directly affected the relationships I chose to be in. That's where I was going with this earlier, or in the original recording of this. For those that are not watching and can't see that I grew a whole little chin beard during the course of this recording and grew some sniffles with it in a raspier voice. Those that are listening, I cut the recording in the middle, and I'm doing this part over. The last part of it, I'm doing it over so that I can be more specific and on point with this abandonment issues topic. So that's where it left me. That's what happened to me when I was a kid, and it was a direct effect on the relationships I decided to be in. I did not even know that. I did not realize that. This is something I realized recently, just picking myself apart, constantly evaluating me and growing as a human, as an individual, as a spiritual being, growing spiritually and looking at life in the flesh, and how um, my experiences are a direct result of who I am today, which goes for everybody. But this is just me picking myself apart. My choices, the first choices, and when I say choices, I mean relationships. The first uh, two main relationships I decided to be in were interesting without going into deep detail about them. I just chose people, and I think I said this in an earlier episode. I chose people that chose me, basically, as if I didn't have a choice. But deep down, I was just longing to give some love to somebody, and more importantly, to be loved back. My first two relationships were women that were much older than me. That's clue number one and two. Um, I definitely found older women more attractive, but intellectually, I was always stimulated. Always have been stimulated um, intellectually. I know they call it the sapiosexual or whatever they call it now. It's a name. Maybe it was a name back then too. Who knows? But people weren't flaunting around these titles, and I'm this and I'm that. I'm a metrosexual, sapio, homos, sapio. People weren't throwing around these labels and titles and all that stuff. It's just that's what you were. But I've always known that I was interested in deep conversation. That's what attracted me. So of course I'm naturally attracted to older women because I'm 14, 15, 16. I was always a lot more mature than my age was. So I always appealed to the older women, and they were always more appealing to me because the young girls that were my age, they were attracted. I was attracted to them physically, but there was zero conversation. A lot of them, they didn't even talk. It was just goofy kid stuff that I was not even interested in. So that was a major part of my relationships. So going deeper into my relationships, and I'll get more specific the more I go on, a lot of the issues that came up in my relationship. And I'm gonna be very specific and taking a closer look at my issues in those relationships because I need to pick apart me. I need to understand me. It's easy to look towards your mate and look at all their flaws and see all the reasons why they fucked the relationship up. The relationship went bad because of them. So easy to do that. But when you're done doing that and you're looking back 2 and 3 and 4 relationships, and it may be the same issues, may be different issues, but you can always pinpoint what they did wrong. And it's really hard to start looking at yourself and holding yourself accountable in the same manner that you hold those individuals accountable. You know what you did right. You know what you did wrong. But sometimes it's harder to look deeper at the things that the root cause of some of the things you did or some of the stuff that you were looking for from your partner, or some things that I knew deep down inside they were not going to bring or may not even be capable of bringing to the relationship, to the table. This is why it's so important to know you. Gotta know you, gotta know yourself. And if you don't know you, you have to dig deep and figure it out. It's not always about knowing what you want in a partner, what you want from your relationship, but sometimes also knowing why. Why do you want these certain things? Why is having a family with a house, not a apartment, not a condo, not a townhome, but you want a house? You got to have more than one kid. Why? I know people with only one child, a couple people with only one child. And one of the main reasons they want another child is because they don't want their current child to be alone or an only child. So you're having a whole nother kid just to keep your other kid company. What's deeper than that? What's the real reason? How do you play a part? We spend a lot of time trying to fix our childhood in the present with our kids. We want our life and our child's life to reflect what we wanted for ourselves as children, what we wanted our childhood to be like. I guarantee you a lot of us, if you look at how you are as a parent and how you envision your children to be and how you envision you to be as a parent is identical to what you desired as a kid. Or if you had a really good, happy childhood, it's probably identical to what you experienced as a kid. Think about that shit. Break that down. Time's different. Time steady goes, and steady ticking. Things constantly evolve. You cannot strive for something that was. It's about evolving with time. It's okay to want your kid or your kids to be as happy as you were in your childhood, but it's not going to look the same. It's never going to look the same. It may not even feel the same. You want them to experience that happiness. Find out what makes them happy, not what you feel like happiness looks like. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. We're not even living in the present. We're living in our heads, especially if you have of a lot of your past that still needs to be healed. We're living in our heads. We're living in our past. We're living in our unhealed past lives. So going back into, the topic at hand, just having certain issues that come about in life, it's natural, and it's this particular topic. It's about abandonment issues and certain experiences in life cause us certain effects on our kids. It caused a certain effect on me. So I'm reflecting on that effect right now to not only bring that attention to each person that's listening to this, and maybe you can reflect on your life and analyze you as a person and how something in your past may have affected you in your relationships. I can almost guarantee you it did. This is why I'm using this example for myself. This is how it affected me in my relationships that I could not get right, that I was so frustrated with. I felt like I was right within myself, but my relationships just could not get right. What was going on? What the hell is going on? It would never get right. You got to figure yourself out first. You got to figure out what's going on, what all this shit mean, man. Like, that's what it meant for me. I had to go all the way back to second grade G and realize me being snatched from my mom's, basically from her warmth, just all of this. You know what I mean? Like, just snatched from her. I don't want to say her womb. That's too intimate. Like, just from her grasp. Second grade, you're still here with your mom. You're still here. If you're listening, I'm making a gesture like I got a child in my arms. That's my gesture right now. If you're listening, if you're watching, then you see me with my arms right now. You're here. You're here with it. I was snatched. I wasn't abandoned, but it caused those issues because now all of a sudden that intimate grasp, that intimate warmth, that embrace, that comfort, that everything that a mom provides for her child was gone. It was snatched away like that. It was taken away like that. So you think about the animal kingdom. If I was a baby bear, a cub, so to speak, and it was 3 cubs and a mama bear, and the hunters came and they shot at the mom, and the mom ran away, and the cubs scattered. And one of the cubs got away, the mom got away, and 2 of the cubs got captured. They weren't trying to kill them to eat them. They was trying to kill them they was trying to capture them to do whatever, fill in the blank, put them in the zoo, who knows? But the end result is the mama bear come back. One of the cubs, he's still there. 2 of the cubs, they're gone. So we know what happened. Somebody came and took the cubs, but what type of effect will that event have? What type of traumatic effect will that event have on those cubs? Just being taken from their mama bear at that point in their lives. You know, the abandonment comes from just the loss or the lack of that intimate relationship with the mama bear. Shit's real. So, like I said, that shit leaked into um, all of my relationships. You know, I was constantly leaning and looking and searching for that comfort. Even now, mind you, I'm back. I've got back with my mom. I think a year, whatever. We said it on a previous episode, but it was for a child. Of course, it was a decent amount of time. Anytime a day is too long to be gone from your mom, but it was enough time for me to go to school. I did the whole damn third grade in Alabama, so that's how long I was gone. So, um, it was long enough to cause a really big wound. So even being reunited with my mom and living with her and loving her and hugging her and doing all that stuff did not heal that wound that was caused from that moment, that interaction, that experience. Nothing took away from um, the traumatic experience that occurred. Nothing took away from that event or the pain or the abandonment that was felt, that was caused from that moment, from that event. So it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Even after I reunited with my mom, that shit it was still there. Couldn't get that back. So within my partners, within my spouses, within my mates, whatever you want to call it, I look towards them for that comfort, for that love. This is not something I was aware of. Please don't look at me like, nigga, if you know what's wrong with you, then you know what I mean. You just out here, out here. You just want to, you just want some extra sympathy or what? No, it ain't been like that. When you figure this stuff out, when you start seeing this stuff for the first time within yourself, man, it's a reality check. It's not something that you are aware of. You know, hopefully, hopefully this is coming across the way I anticipated it to be, because it's not an easy topic. Once again, the way I do things is just off the fly, off the top of the head. I just express. And I hope that you, the listener, can get where I'm coming from. Can really get where I'm coming from. I know a lot of you relate to some of the things that I'm saying, whether it's um, the same sort of experience or something totally different, but the same emotion behind it. I know y'all get it. I don't have to second guess that. I don't have to wonder about that. I know y'all get it. I've gotten feedback and I read energy well, you know. But that's just what it is. So once again, it's a heavy topic. It was important for me to just really cover all bases. I always feel like within an episode, I did not say enough. I did not touch on specific points. So all I can do is hope that you were able to pull something from what I was saying. If you didn't follow the whole thing, or feel the whole thing. You were able to pull something from it where you could relate to and really feel what I'm saying, where I'm coming from. I've never done this. I literally deleted a half an hour worth of me going on about my experience in Florida. It was all about what sparked me to do this episode. That's it. I went 35 minutes about what what triggered me to make this episode about abandonment issues. And the reason it did that is because my abandonment issues led me to choose certain individuals to be in relationships with. And one of the individuals that I was in my longest relationship with, or the one individual that I was in my longest relationship with, my kid's mom, was the one that triggered all of these emotions. So instead of talking about abandonment issues, I started just going on and on about my baby mama drama. Y'all didn't want to hear that shit. Well, a lot of y'all did probably want to hear that. Y'all nosy MFers. Nosy MFers. Y'all know y'all did want to hear that. But like I said, I'm not opposed to talking about anything. And trust me, I went all the way in on that episode, but it was off topic. I wanted to make a point about this very specific topic. Figure you out first. There's no way you can be in a successful partnership with anybody if you're still fucked up. That's the realest way I can say it. And I'm saying it from experience. Every single relationship I've ever been in, I was still fucked up. So there's no way that I could have been in a successful relationship with anybody. At this point in my life, I feel like it's very possible now. I'm not looking for it. If it happens, I'm open to it. And I can honestly say that because for the first time in my life, I'm actually there. I'm at that point. I'm at that point. I can actually say that. And I'm happy to say that. Yeah. So heavy shit. Heavy, 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 heavy. Yes. Yes, indeed. Shout out to all my international listeners. Y'all don't know how much I love y'all. I don't know how y'all deal with my craziness. Like, if you follow me, energy is energy. If you feel me, then you feel me. But I love y'all. It's real love to all my local domestic listeners from Illinois to Ohio to Vegas, wherever the hell you are in the United States, North America, South America, wherever you are listening to this podcast. I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you. Know that shit. Know it. We're going to keep bringing it. We're going to keep bringing the real. I got definitely another episode coming, at least one. I'm staying hopeful for a couple more. I'm reaching hard for 30 before the year's out, but it looked like I may not be able to do that. We'll see. But we're definitely going to pop off another episode or two before the new year. So get ready for that. Until then, once again, this is the heavy topic. All the rest is going to be happy, happy, happy up topics. I said this is going to be the last heavy one for the year. I meant that. But yeah, it's been a very interesting year to say the least. And like always, in closing, we love y'all. And we out. We out.